How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Into the Teeth podcast. I am one of your hosts, Scott Rose.
And I'm Callum Allison, guys.
How's it going, mate? You all good?
I'm doing very well, Scotty boy. How are you?
I'm tired, mate. I'm tired. That's you forget. You forget that you're going to bed at midnight every night when you're watching the Masters, and then I'm still now having to get up and actually be an active participant in my household now, rather than just being lazy.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder for the likes of you, who actually has a family of his own now. So, but yeah, I mean, it's I loved your social media post last night on the Instagram about the going into work the next day and your boss asks you why you're tired. But no, it was a fantastic, some fantastic viewing over the weekend. I think there was a lot of tired men and boys, girls, ladies, whatever you want to say, this morning.
Yeah, and I had, I think was it Friday, I think, was the absolute antithesis. We were texting each other, and you sent me a picture of a pint of, I think it was Cruz Campo. Was it Cruz Campo?
No, it was an Italian, Menabrea.
Oh, Menabrea. And you said,
Menabrea.
I'm 5 pints deep, and my reply was, class, I've just been spewed on.
That pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? Pretty much sums it up, mate.
But no, it was Masters is always mega, but this one, I think going into the back nine on Sunday, you're thinking this one's got potential to be an all-time classic.
Yeah, I totally agree. The excitement on the Sunday when I got home from work and planted my arse on the sofa, you just know it was going to be an exciting Sunday day at the Masters. A bit deflating in the end, I may say, but it was very good viewing throughout. Really good Masters, to be fair.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you. I thought there would be a wee bit more tussling between Rory, Scotty, Rose. I mean, Cam Young's putter went ice cold. We'll get on to all that. But if we go back to Thursday, Friday, we've got Rory McIlroy setting the 36-hole, record of having a 6-shot lead. And everyone's like, oh, well, it's done and dusted.
Yeah, I mean, I was certainly one of the people who thought it was over, to be honest. Biggest story obviously being the biggest lead in Master history after 36 holes. Incredible to have 12 under par as your 36 hole score after 2 rounds, and then after 4 rounds it'd be the exact same. Just kind of shows you how that setup plays.
I know, it was a weird one as well, because you could see it. The 73 that he shot on Saturday, I think you could see that coming a mile off.
Yeah, 100%.
Augusta's
100%.
not, you don't have to drive it that well at Augusta, which obviously Rory showed. He was 90th out of 91 players in driving accuracy. You can kind of get away with it. He missing the right spots, but yeah, he was putting himself in some interesting spots, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was it's a bit bonkers when you actually see that stat and he still managed to come out on top, because you feel like you should be penalised, especially for a major setup, to have that kind of statistic and still manage to come out on the win is a bit bizarre, I think,
What did you think of the setup of the golf course from Thursday to Friday? It was like 2 different golf courses. I was thinking, it's the weather's to be really good all week. It's to get windy. It's to get warm. Like, they could get this going really firm and really fast, and then it seems like they just dumped a fucking load of water on it Friday, and it was just soft and slow.
Yeah, I think Scotty Scheffler made a comment about that, about the Friday as well, the Thursday Friday not being as quite consistent as they was hoping, and how he felt like that affected the scoring a little bit for him coming into that. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be playing a lot firmer on the Friday, to be honest. But as you say, it was a little bit softer than expected.
But I think I don't mind that though. And I mean, Augusta have always they do whatever they want, don't they? They're their own entity.
They're in control, aren't they?
They're in full control, and I think what they didn't want it to do was to get too firm, too bouncy. I mean, 12 under was the winning score. It's not like when Dustin Johnson won in that November Masters at 20 odd under. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's still. I think you probably look at the average score for the winner over the years for the Masters, apart from the November anomaly, which was Dustin Johnson. The average is probably around about 13 under anyway, isn't it? So
yeah. There was a year.
isn't too
Remember,
far
Zach
off
Johnson won it 1 year at 1 over.
1 over, yeah.
See, it's
yeah,
funny.
1 over.
We done our like preview podcast, if you want, last week, and we obviously said like our least favorite Masters and our most favorite Masters. And as soon as we stopped recording, I was thinking, I'm sure there was a year Zach Johnson went over par and he didn't go for a single par five. And then we'll get onto this a wee bit, and then I saw Sergio acting like an absolute petulant child, and I thought, I can't believe I said him winning the Masters was my favourite one of all time. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I kind of thought you might be regretting that comment, mate. I stand by mine, however.
I tell you
Happy
what,
that Patrick Reed did not manage to keep the ball rolling there.
after he started birdie on Saturday, you must have been jangling, were you?
Oh, I was panicking, mate. I was panicking. I was getting ready to face the music on the podcast, to be honest. But as you can tell, I'm a happy man.
Well, yeah, obviously. Well, we've not said it yet, but everyone knows. But obviously, Rory becomes only the fourth person to go back to back in the Masters. I'm going to do it to you again, Callum. Do you know the other four players?
I should know this. I know, obviously, Tiger Woods,
Yeah.
Jack Nicklaus,
Yeah.
and it's always the oldies. I always forget the oldies. Go for it. Put me out of my misery.
Nick Faldo.
Nick Faldo.
And then Rory's obviously now won his sixth major title, tying Nick Faldo as the most majors by a European player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of. I don't think this one meant as much to Rory as what last year's one, with obviously winning the Grand Slam. I don't think any major, if he wins any more, which I think he'll win loads more, is going to mean as much. But it's still mega to see him. I know you were kind of rooting for Justin Rose, but I said to you as well, like, I'm just Rory McIlroy all day long.
I mean, I think everyone's, or the majority of the golfing population are McIlroy fans, and whenever you see him win, you're obviously delighted. I mean, as you said, I think that first Masters is obviously very, very special for him. It was a long time coming. You know, he played obviously the first two rounds like he had already won a Masters, I would say. I mean, he went out there with some confidence, and he was, really taking control of the golf course, and it looked like he was just going to absolutely smash the place to bits. And then we seen that kind of pressure sneak back in a little bit, saying, right, oh, wait now, this is another chance to win a major. And maybe that's where the kind of tide turned a little bit in terms of his confidence in his swing and his decision making in his shots. But yeah, I'm a Rory McIlroy fan. I'm disappointed for Justin Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Really disappointed for Justin Rose. Just when he got to 12 under, I'm thinking, right, Rosie, come on, like, hold it together. And obviously I had a wee bad spell of holes when we talk about the main corner and a wee minute or two as well.
We can go on to it now, but I've got a question for you. Who do you think is more disappointed and thinks they've let a Master slip out their finger more, Scotty Scheffler or Justin Rose?
I would definitely say Justin Rose, just because he was in the lead, and I think, the 3-hole stretch that he had where he went bogey, drove, hit the par 5 and 2, then 3-putted. I think, reflection on that, he knows for a fact he's just lost the Masters from the 3 holes. Personally, I think he's thought himself, I blew this.
Yeah, and he had
And
that.
I think that's what you could see.
Yeah, and he three-putted 13, didn't he? And
yeah.
Then he misses that tiddler on 17 to kind of completely bring himself out of it.
Yeah, but I think it's gone by then. But I mean, it's quite interesting. Obviously, we've always spoke about McIlroy with the pressure on him at that stage when he's been in the lead before, coming down the stretch. It was really interesting because you're obviously more aware of it when you're watching it now, and you could really see Justin Rose starting to doubt himself. Obviously his communication with his caddy,
100%.
Questioning, stepping off the ball, questioning the yardage. You could really kind of see that pressure come to life, and then that's when you thought to yourself, right, hold on a wee second here, he's losing the nerve a little bit, starting to get a little bit nervous and not quite trusting and being confident in his swing.
No, I think that's a brilliant point, because you saw it when he backed off his shot into 10. and
Yep.
he said to Fucci's caddy, it was like, "Is this definitely the club?" Yes, definitely the club.
Yeah.
And I think you show on the other end of that, and it's McIlroy, and even when he blows his drive into the trees on the right, you know he makes his decision and he makes it quickly and he pulls the trigger quickly. Obviously, a wee bit easier having a two-shot lead. But yeah, no, I think you're 100% right, and I think it's such a. I think that's obviously he's finished second at the Masters 3 times. He's finished
Yeah.
tied third. I'm sure it was this year, but at 46 years old, there's nothing to say that Rosie can't go and win it next year, or the year after.
I'd have to agree with you. I think he's obviously kept himself in remarkable condition in terms of his physical appearance as well.
He travels on tour with a fitness trailer, eh?
Yeah,
And there's like
yeah.
a cryo chamber in there.
I mean, that's kind of what you need to do. You look at, I'm obviously going to switch sports here, but the likes of LeBron James, for example, who's still competing at the highest level of basketball, he's doing pretty much the same thing in the cryo chamber and physiotherapist, nutritionist. I mean, I think if you want longevity from a sporting career at the highest level, you need to be doing these things. And as Rory said in his interview, Justin Rose is basically the blueprint for that. Look at what he's doing. He's still playing in Ryder Cups. He's still competing in major championships. That's the person to follow if you're wanting a longevity out of your career. But I honestly feel like he lost the Masters yesterday rather than Rory winning it. That's my personal feeling from it. I really think Justin Rose lost it.
Wow.
I feel like he could have really kicked on. I mean, that's obviously a bit controversial because Rory was so solid, but hey ho.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I can see where you're coming from with that. You think if he should, in theory, he should definitely make birdie at 13, and then there's a couple of loose ones coming in. But something about me feels like if Rory had to, he would have got the job done. If Rose got to 13, Rory's thinking, right, I'll just get to 14, and yeah, I don't know.
I think that's where I would disagree with you, mate. I would say that I honestly thought as it gets closer to the 18th, I feel like Rory gets a bit panicky, and I feel like if it went to a playoff, he was losing. Scotty Scheffler was winning that playoff every day of the week if that went to that playoff.
Well, I mean, you look at that though. I mean, Justin Rose went into the back nine in the lead and shoots a back nine 38.
Yeah,
you can't be doing that. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I mean, it's easy for me to say that, or anyone to sit at home and say that you can't be doing that. But like you say, longevity is absolutely amazing. I mean, yeah. What we got? I think US Open's at Aronimink. You've got the Open at Birkdale. I don't know where the PGA is because I couldn't give a monkeys about the PGA Championship. But you could see him maybe clipping one off this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's definitely got the game for it. I mean, his all round game's fantastic. I think for Justin Rose, his wedge game's pretty solid. I mean, you'll see from his stroke gain data that he's an all round pretty solid player. When he's got the irons dialed in, it just feels like he flushes everything straight in the pin.
The only thing, and I've never met Justin Rose, right? And I'm sure he's a lovely man. I just can't. He's so cheesy, isn't he? I think he's
a cheesy guy.
Like the walking definition of a dad joke. I'd
agree with that.
The way that he waves to the crowd and he tries to make really deliberate eye contact with everyone and the tip of the cap, and yeah, I find that quite funny actually, to be honest.
I think also he's just a really nice guy as well. Like he's a proper professional, old school professional sportsman where he just knows how to act. Unlike his, could we say colleague, Sergio Garcia? I don't know if it's a colleague or competitor, Sergio. But yeah, that's for later on, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, Justin Rose is just a class act. That's how I would describe him. I think he's a great guy for young professionals to look up to, and as I was already said, he's a good blueprint for these up and coming professionals as well.
100%. And I mean, we've mentioned it, but I personally think, I asked you that question, I think Scotty Scheffler is sitting at home now thinking, I've let that one get away. from me, which is mental because he was level par going into the weekend.
Yep.
He's the first player since 1942 to go bogey free at the weekend at the Masters, and I just feel like Saturday 65, which could have been a 63,
Yep.
and then I just feel like Sunday never got going, but he still had a chance. I mean, he had that putt on 17. How his putt on 17 missed is I still don't think I don't know how it's missed, and I just think although everyone's going to be talking about Rory, and quite rightly so, winning his sixth major, but I just look at Scotty Scheffler and I just go, he's head and shoulders above everyone as a golfer, absolutely head and shoulders above everyone, and I don't know how anyone catches him at world number one. I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there, mate. I think it's going to be a tough school for anyone to try and catch with Scotty just now. As you say, obviously, I mean, I'm looking at some of the leaderboard stats just now. A run of 12 pars or 11 pars in the final round there.
Yeah,
Just didn't quite get it going, and you say Justin Rose with the 38 in the back nine. You can't have 12 pars in the final round of the Masters. If you're especially if you're in the behind pack, you're trying to push the top and put pressure on them. You need to be making birdies.
And Cam Young was, as they said, about 20 million times on the Sky broadcast, and I'm going to get into that a wee bit. He was 4 over through 7 holes, and he's another one that's probably going, how have I not at least gotten a playoff there? Because it felt like he burned the edge on every hole for a birdie on the back nine. It almost felt like.
Yeah, I mean, it must get to a point where it's so frustrating, where it's a golf course where it's really hard to push, and really say, right, I'm going to start, pushing for birdies, because that's where the course then penalises you so easily. So you're trying to be patient, and if it's just not your day and it's just hitting the lip, it can be demoralising for these guys. And that happened to Cam Young yesterday, and that's why we're not saying he is the Masters champion, because after that Saturday round, I was very much fancying him to kick on.
It's funny, right? But I was speaking to one of the old boys at the golf club actually on Sunday morning, and he's, hey, what about that Rory McIlroy? And I was like, oh, yeah. I was chatting away about it, and I said, I actually am more confident now that he's going to win, having shot 73 on Saturday. I actually think he'll kick on and win it. I feel like he's kind of got that bad round out of the way. But yeah, amazing. Rory McIlroy, fair play. I think he could go on now, and he seems to be really motivated, and I think a lot of people thought he would kind of not switch off, but he's won the Grand Slam and that. But I think he's like, right, I want to get double digits now, and who says he can't?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Rory McIlroy, was he 36 years old or something?
Yeah,
I believe
something like that, mate.
something about that. Yeah, so he's 36 years old. You're looking at the likes of Justin Rose, 45, potentially 9 years in the tank if you're keeping yourself fit and healthy to play. What can that man do in the 9 years? You've got 4 chances every year to put another major on your belt. So realistically, I mean, everything going well, he could.
No car crash.
He could really get his numbers up. No car crashes, and Scotty Scheffler breaks his foot, he'll be fine.
I know. But let's go. I want to go through just quickly our picks.
Okay.
So
It's probably just end the podcast here.
no. You know what? When we look at it, right? So we had three picks, 3 dark horses each. So
Yeah.
one of your picks is topped our league table with Justin Rose.
Yeah.
Then you've got one of my picks, Colin Morikawa, sitting
A fantastic final round from him as well, by the way.
By all accounts, like I've picked Colin Morikawa to win this Masters, and a lot of the chat was he might not even play because he's got a back injury. It just shows you how much research I put into my picks. I just went on strokes gained approach. Oh, Colin Morikawa. Next on the list,
Flusher.
Xander Schauffele, also one of my picks.
Yep.
Then we keep going down the list. Jake Knapp was my dark horse.
It was indeed, yep.
Right. Then we've got Jordan Spieth was one of my picks.
Yep.
Patrick Reed, one of my dark horses.
Yep.
Ludwig Aberg, one of my picks. And then
I see where you're going with this, Scott.
then we get to Gary Woodland, who was one of your dark horses.
Yep, 80 to 1 shot, I believe I said.
80 to 1 shot. Then we've got John Ram, who was one of your picks, who, after opening my 78, I was thinking he's not hanging about.
Yeah.
Who was your other dark horse? Your dark horse. I've got Bobby Mack, which we're going to talk about Bobby Mack, but I can't remember who was your other dark horse.
I want to say... I can't quite remember. I want to say Hatton. I know I had Hatton on as a bet.
It was Adam Scott.
It was Adam Scott, you're right.
Adam Scott.
But I did have Hatton on as a bet,
shot 2 under.
I mean, that still counts.
So there you go. So although your player topped our leaderboard, I think overall I won the Masters. I think from our pen.
Yeah, I think that's a 1-0 in the first major of the year to Scott Rose.
Maybe you need to do a wee aggregate under par league table for the boys. But mate, let's talk about Bobby Mack.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of form going into the Masters, he was playing really, really well. And obviously, I understand that Augusta, it's a different beast, and form has some sort of mar going into this. But what the hell happened? To be honest, I mean, what was he playing at? I mean, some of the stuff you were seeing him do, I was gutted for him. And then obviously, action-wise, flipping the bird up. I think a lot of Scottish people will understand exactly his emotions as he's performed that action there. The cursing, it seemed like so really frustrated. Obviously, he was expecting a lot going into that week, I think, with the form he was going into play. It's not quite went his way, and he's got very frustrated. It's got the better of him, and it's not been his week at all.
I think, obviously, he gets almost kind of like the marquee pairing. He's paired up Thursday, Friday with Scotty and Gary Woodland. I think you're right. I think he was expected to go in and play well. I think he's played well at the Masters before. I don't know. It's a tough one, eh? Like, we've all done it.
We've all done it, yeah.
And I know we don't. Not all of us have cameras pointing at us, and we're not at one of the most exclusive golf clubs in the world. But we've all done it. Like, people getting upset about him swearing and stuff like that. I kind of am like, it's just the world we live in. Like, what I don't agree with, which I think he could have done a lot better, was that he denied to do media for the 2 days, and then obviously retweeted the Masters gnome figurine of him sticking the finger up. That's the only thing. I don't care if personally I don't care if someone swears on the telly or whatever from that point of view. But
yeah,
but go and speak to the media.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I think it would have been a lot less punishing towards him if he did speak to the media and just was honest. Saying obviously, I mean, it means a lot to these players. It's emotional, and when it's not quite happening for you, you're going to get emotional, and it's hard to control the emotions sometimes when it means so much to you and you're expecting so much of yourself. On the other hand, I feel like that's almost from a Robert McIntyre point of view. I'm like, right, okay, I get that a little bit. It's a lot of emotion there, but from a Sergio Garcia point of view, I'm thinking you should know a lot better than that, and you're just acting like a clown.
Yeah, I mean, Sergio Garcia's obviously smashed his driver on a cooler. He's had an absolute meltdown, and and I'm sure, like, I saw the shot tracer from the shot that he hit. Actually, I'm sure it went in the middle of the fairway. But then the interview afterwards, like, I know I've just criticised Bob McIntyre for not doing media, but Sergio gives an interview and comes across as one of the most obnoxious bellends you'll ever speak to ever, and he's like giving one-word answers and it's not that big a deal, and someone says, we saw that obviously officials were speaking to you, can you what was that about? And he's like, I'm not telling you. Like, come on, mate.
Yeah. Aye. I mean, I feel like his reputation as a golfer was tarnished obviously when he moved to Live.
Mate, long before
But
that.
I don't think it's
Long before that. Remember
long before that.
spat in the hole at an event and he
Well, I was
smashed
going
up,
to say he's got a
smashed up
long.
greens and bunkers in Saudi and
Well, that's what I've got. I've actually got to hear. It said the incident is the latest in his career of behavioural issues for Garcia. He was once disqualified in the 2019 Saudi International for serious misconduct after purposely damaging several greens the day after having a meltdown in a bunker. So, I mean, the guy's got previous. And I think, when you're that age, you look at the likes of Sergio Garcia and a Justin Rose, and there's two different, complete types of a professional. And you can clearly see that the role model that you should be looking towards would be the Justin Rose. However, I think the two are different there between Bobby Mark and Sergio. I think Bobby Mark, it was coming in hot. I feel like he's obviously been very disappointed. He was expecting a lot out of that tournament, and I think that was where we've seen that frustration coming out.
I still think Bobby Mack will. I don't know if I'm wearing Scottish tinted glasses, but I still think Bobby will win one major in his career at least.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I would love it for it to be the Open at St Andrews or something like that. I think that would be fantastic. But
next year, so you never know.
We do indeed. Well, I might be qualifying for that hopefully, so you never know.
Yeah, I don't think you need to worry about that one, Cal. Another man out that missed the cut that I want to speak about is Bryson DeChambeau.
Okay.
And all I want, it's a hard one, right? Because he's obviously he's playing well. He's won a couple times on Live this year. But how often do you see him at Augusta and you just think, go and just play a normal set of golf clubs?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Like, go and just play. Like, imagine, the bunker troubles and that he's got. Well, no wonder, because his fucking lob wedge is the length of his 7-iron.
Yeah.
Like, how... I don't get it, and I'm not saying... And I think Bryson's obviously a very smart man, right? I think he maybe plays up to it and pretends like he's smarter than he actually is.
I would agree. I think I would 100% agree with that comment. I think that's a lot to do with the media.
But he's been doing the whole same length thing for 10 years, right? And he's week in, week out competing against guys who will literally do anything to gain an advantage, right? No one else is doing it. No one else is trying it. Nothing. Like, I just don't get it. Like, just going to play clubs that are like a proper length. It frustrates me.
Yeah, I think you just get some consistency and work on it, and try and grow on your own skills and attributes rather than, this hunt for the secret ingredient. It's the. I would tend to agree with you, mate. I think there's a point where you've just got to zone in and focus on, right, this is the equipment I'm going to play with, I'm going to trust it, and I'm going to commit to it rather than constantly changing your ideas and your philosophies, and I don't think that helps.
He's talking beforehand about how he 3D printed these irons that he's playing this week, and don't get me wrong, right, you need characters in the game. You need it. Sergio Garcia's a character but can sometimes cross the line. I think Bob's a character. People with a bit of personality, people a bit different. Otherwise, it's all the same. But I just kind of feel like, and I know he's won 2 majors, but I'm kind of like, if he had the ability to play certain shots, and I just think his clubs are so long, they're so upright. The amount of, especially at Augusta, the amount of shots that he hits left and misses greens and leave themselves in impossible spots to get up and down, it's a bit frustrating to watch because you can see that he's a fantastic golfer and you just think, mate, come on, like, you're a smart laddie, just stop with this nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, nothing but agreement with you, mate, there, to be honest. I don't think it's the last major we'll see DeChambeau be out of contention in.
No, I
also don't think.
multiple more.
Yeah. I think he's certainly got the game for it. But as you say, another man that was on form coming in, and does that equipment, as you say, does that have an effect on his performance around Augusta and the way it's set up? Potentially.
Yeah.
We've seen him work out a lot better the previous years. So, well, as you say, he's a character, mate. He's a character, and that's what we like to see in golf.
I just think sometimes he's maybe a wee bit more bothered about his YouTube channel. Really.
Well, his YouTube content is actually quite good, so I'm all here for the YouTube content. The chipping over the house and getting the hole in one. I was locked in on that on TikTok for I mean, not everyone's got a chipping green out their back garden and an 85 to 100 yard wedge shot available to do that. But that was good content.
Yeah, another person that missed the cut, Cam Smith, that's missed his last 6 cuts in majors. Again, like we've spoke about Liv, and it's not like I'm dead against it. But if there's one person whose golf has suffered because of going to Liv, I think you could say it's Cam Smith. He goes over having like won the Open and been in the Players Champion and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's loving life, yucking it up with his team, Ripper GC with the Aussie boys, and but you just think, God, this boy should be week to week and competing at the highest level, but that's what you get.
I think at the time, when you seen him in the Open, ability wise, skill level, you're thinking, holy shit, he could be the next Jordan Spieth kind of coming through character here. Mm-hmm. That's what I personally thought I was witnessing at the time, and you get offered that big fat check and hang about with your mates all the time and just chill out and relax and play a bit of golf and
sounds alright, to be fair.
Enjoy your life. It's not the worst deal, but I mean, could he have been one of the greats? Could we say?
No.
Yeah, potentially. I think he had the potential to potentially. I think in his up and coming, I think he had potential to be, a multiple major winner. I do.
Yeah.
But obviously, since that departure, fell off a cliff. To be honest, really, it's
been quite sad.
Performance-wise, yeah.
But another man, last person I'm going to talk about that missed the cut, and it's just going to lead on to something that we're going to talk about anyway. Just missed the cut by a shot. Danny Willett, and the reason I'm talking about Danny Willett is, of course, because we ran our Masters giveaway competition, and Callum, I had an absolute nightmare. We need to figure out, if we're gonna do giveaways, we need to figure out a better way. So it took me the best part of 2.5 hours this morning to put all the entrants into the random name generator, right?
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of software that pulls it from an Instagram post, but I'm not smart enough to figure that out. So I've manually put everyone's name in, and I'm like, oh, Barry, this is great. And then I've done the draw, and then we have a James Brannan is one. Congratulations, James.
Congratulations, James.
He's reached out to us on Instagram and given us his address and stuff. And then I've just closed the app without even thinking. I've not recorded anything. I've not done anything. Not a single thing. And I'm like, oh, I've just spent 2.5 hours, and I've got nothing to show for it apart from my name.
You've got absolute zero content from it.
Oh, absolute zero.
Listen, hey, it's the first of many. Congratulations, James, but it's the first of many, and there'll be plenty more. Coming up in the future.
I can't promise they're all going to be signed flags by major winners, but we'll have some.
Yeah, started off hot with that. It's only down from here. It'll be signed flag from me and Scott Rose.
That's worth absolutely fuck all. Mate, one thing I want to touch on with the Masters, and it's the headwear.
You've been pretty outspoken about this headwear, especially on our Instagram accounts. So I'm going to let you tell us your thoughts and feelings, mate. I feel that you've got a lot to get off your chest here.
No, I don't have a lot to get off my chest. I'm not a traditional golfer, traditionalist by any stretch of the imagination. I'm wearing a hoodie. But I think the big letter hats is an abomination to golf. I think
Okay.
big letter hats is an epidemic that's spreading through Augusta National, and we saw it in the last couple of years. And you've got the skip it hats. They've got in big bold letters. You've got but the one that really got to me this week was egg salad, and there was a boy
Yeah.
who was sitting right behind where the cameras were on the 16th tee on Sunday with that egg salad hat, bright yellow thing. And I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, Augusta National, get a grip on this. Why are you selling these hats? And obviously, people can wear whatever they want. I am partly joking. But they're absolutely horrific.
I mean, they're making some amount of dough from selling that type of stuff but honestly, I would agree with you in terms of the style, mate. It wouldn't be personally something I wear myself. I feel like Americans love that kind of style and stuff. You see it a lot in baseball and basketball, they kind of styled hats. But yeah, I mean, keep it classy, Augusta.
You'll see it in the Open.
Yeah.
And that obviously inspired me to put a post on our Instagram today, which I thought I was being a comedic genius by creating hats on ChatGPT with names on it of other sandwiches. But you'll see it, the Open next year. You'll get something. There'll be something daft like haggis or something on a hat.
Oh, you'll see that now. Yeah, black pudding, haggis.
Absolutely love it, and it's just I cannot get behind it. It needs to be stopped. It needs to be stopped. Mate, talking about people buying stuff. I saw a report that the Masters were reportedly going to be doing $70 million in merchandise this week in the Masters, which equates to $277 a second. What they were pulling in.
Absolutely ridiculous. That's the only.
You would do it.
2 words I've got for that. I mean, yeah, if you can milk it, definitely. And you know what? I believe I don't want to. I'm going to step on my own foot here. I have been told a story about how they sell the items in the shop.
Okay.
So you know how you go to a fast food drive-through in America and it's all numbered.
Yeah. I'll have a number 5. Hold the mail.
I might be talking absolute nonsense because I've not been to Augusta and I've not been in the shop, and people can fact check me and tell me if this person's telling me complete utter shite. But he kind of says you go in, you say you want a hat, a jacket, and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's numbered. So you just go in and say, "Oh, can I get a 1, a 6, and a 7?" And then it basically kind of comes into a shoot and you grab it and then boom, that's you. So it's like numbered to what you want rather than going in and saying, "Oh, can I get a..."
That can't be it.
Glenn Muir's usually. I
think
that's what was told.
Whoever's told you that is winding you up. You can't be doing that.
Potentially winding me up. But I mean, I think that'd be quite an easy process because the shop must be absolutely pumping. You think an Open Championship, how busy the store is?
Mad.
This is 10 times. This is going to be 10 times busier.
I got one of my mates has been to the Masters once or maybe twice, and they went and they've done the dream trip. Went out and played X, Y, and Z and stuff like that, and they went to the Masters on the Sunday. And he says the merch tent was utter dross because most of it had been sold.
Yeah, I mean,
so you're scraping the barrel to try and get stuff because
are they restocking that every day? Or?
If you're going and you're going on an absolute merch haul, right, and you're getting one of those gnomes, which by the way, that's my life goal to get a Masters gnome, and stick it in my front garden. You probably need to go on the Monday.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think they're restocking that every single day, or what's the? I mean, what kind of pre-order or pre-book are you having to put in for that? I mean, the numbers must be absolutely ridiculous.
Well, imagine what the turnover is on that anyway, but yeah, frightening.
Yeah, so if anyone's ever been to the Masters, please fact check that for me. Yeah, let us know exactly if that is bullshit.
Because I think Callum's pals lying to him to make him look like a knob in a podcast, but that's just me.
Yeah, would it be the first time? I just want to actually mention something as well, Scotty. Just as we're talking about the players here, me and the boys were discussing last night.
Can I just before you go, right? the boys. I'm in a group chat that bets with my mates, and I'm not in any of this. I thought we were pals. We're doing a
Well,
podcast together, and
this is the boys at work. So my other job. I did talk to you last night. Don't give me that. I did speak to you last night. But the boys at my work were chatting away, and obviously, you know my feelings about the Patrick Reed Masters. I thought it was absolutely shambolic, and it's the worst one ever. But the Russell Henley creeping up the leaderboard there were some comments in the chat saying that could potentially be worse than Reed and Willett.
No,
but, I mean,
the only thing being that Patrick Reed's one was so bad because of everything that came along with it.
The person he is.
The person he is, the cheating allegations and all that sort of stuff. The Danny Willett one was a dull one because it was probably more known as the year that Jordan's arse collapsed on the 12th green.
Yes.
Russell Henley. I actually had notes in my phone just as I'm like watching it, and I just put Russell Henley, good putter until it means something. That was all I had.
Yeah, that pretty much describes it, mate. To be honest, yeah, I love how he's playing to his strengths. He's a bit shorter than the others. The par fives laying up, wedging it on, giving himself a go for the birdies. But I mean, the amount of putts that man missed yesterday.
Oh, frightening!
He's probably sitting there looking at himself in the mirror as well.
But
thinking,
Russell Henley's also thinking, I've probably just picked up $2.5 million. I finished tied third at the Masters, and
yeah, I mean, you aren't exactly complaining with the money that's going in the bank.
I've actually got my notes here. Quite funny actually, because I didn't put them into our notes from thingy. So I've got Masters Sunday, then I've got Scotty, disappointing. I've got Scotty, no bogeys on weekend. I've got Henley, great putter until it counts. I've got big leather hats are criminal. And then I've got Nick Faldo hyphen Walloper. There's something about Nick Faldo and his commentary that it's between him and Paul McGinley, and both of them make my ears bleed. Oh my god, they're brutal.
I think that's why I forgot it was a back-to-back Green Jacket champion. But I mean, I don't want to speak too much in case they end up coming on the podcast after I've sent the emails to them.
They're definitely not coming on the podcast, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what you done last week. Nick Faldo, you are not welcome.
Well, I've got a blacklist of people that are not allowed to come on. But I mean, I think these guys in the studio can waffle a lot over the 4 days they obviously broadcasting and speaking on it. I mean, I think they can get away with. I mean, we can waffle on the bloody podcast for 45 minutes, so these guys are bound to do it over 4 days.
And I get it. I think commentating on golf's hard.
Commentating, broadcasting.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. Commentating on golf isn't easy, but it's just some of his chat is brutal, and I think it's because he done CBS for so long, and we're used to hearing him. Butch Harmon was always like a really massive favourite of mine to listen to. He's okay. Laura Davies is brutal.
I was going to actually ask you, who would be your if you could pick who you'd want in that studio for Masters Week, who would you like to hear? Because obviously there's a few younger people now in the game now as well. What would be your top three if you were to listen to the Masters over the weekend? Who would you have in there? Obviously Butch, you said.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you know what? It's such a tough one, right? Because I think I've been a massive person that complains about commentary in golf, but I don't actually have an answer of what would make it better. I quite like Nick Doherty. I think he's a bit Marmite with people. I do quite like Andrew Coulthard as well, actually, to be fair. And I think Radar on the course is dynamite.
I think he's superb.
See how I'm skirting around answering your question because I don't have a clue what I'm going to say.
That's all right, mate. I think it's a tough one, tough question I've threw in there for you, mate. But I love Radar. I think he's superb. I quite like, I like to hear more of him.
Mate, do you know who's really good on the PGA Tour broadcast is Bones Mackay. Phil's old caddy. He's really good. But yeah, I just feel like it needs to be a bit modernised. But then I don't want to listen to some wee choop who thinks he's an influencer talking about golf either. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's so hard. I think we all complain about it, but I don't know what the solution is.
yeah.
But
I mean,
it's not
it's a
Laura
tough.
Davies, and it's not Paul McGinley, and it's not Nick Faldo for me.
There we go. We've cleared that up anyway.
Yeah, sorry about that, troops. But yeah, that was in my notes. I just giggled there as I wrote Nick Faldo Walloper at about 11 o'clock at night last night.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure you'll be happy to that.
we're kind of moving on. Next week we are on the PJ Tour. We're at the RBC Heritage Harbour Town.
We are indeed, yes, we are indeed.
Where are we on the European
Um,
Tour?
China?
We
Are
are.
they going to China?
We are. No. This is terrible radio for people. I don't think there is an event. And no event in Europe.
I thought they were off to China in the DP World Tour.
No, we've
I may be
got
wrong
we've
in
got
that.
Liv,
The next event.
we've got Liv playing at Mexico City. We've got the RBC Heritage, and then yeah, that's it. No European Tour event.
Again, RBC Heritage coming up. A lot of the big names playing that event as well.
It's
Different
I'm sure
type
it's a
of
signature
jacket.
event, is it not?
Yeah.
It's a signature event, so it's a bit of a tough one because I'm sure that there's a rule in the PGA that they can only miss a certain amount of signature events.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I think it's a great event as well. I quite like watching it as well. It's another event that I'll be highly interested in watching over the weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of the big names. I mean, you look at that leaderboard, a lot of big names in there. You know, can a lot of them carry on that form into to next week and keep the momentum going. I think Scheffler's starting to warm back up. Could we see him go on a wee win streak soon? Wouldn't put that out out the window for sure. I think he can get on a hot one soon.
There's always a chance, mate. There's always a chance. Right, let's get out of here, mate. I am getting up at 4:30 to go and get on a plane to go down to London for 2 days.
Duty calls, my friend. Duty calls. But it's a fantastic recap of the Masters there. It was great to sit and watch it over the weekend. See Rory McIlroy slip on that jacket again. So absolutely fantastic. Thank you to obviously everyone that entered our event,
Yes.
our live event, and congratulations to the winner again, James. And yeah, over and out from me.
Perfect, buddy. Right, let's get out of here, and I'll speak to you next week.
Catch you later on.
Cheers.
Cheers.